ground shake.
I'm here today to talk about how this is not the same Infinity Ward from back in the days. You guys can see by the title. I'm gonna pull up some evidence for you guys. Show you guys my thoughts and impressions on this game. I didn't make an honest review about it because I kind of wanted to wait a little bit. I wanted to give it like a couple gameplays, but I have school, work, and stuff like that, so I don't have a lot of time to put into these games anymore, like I did of Black Ops 4. So my schedule is kind of like time pressed, I guess is the word to say it. Like I don't have a lot of time to always be spending on Call of Duty and stuff, since I have other things in my life right now. But I don't know. I mean, honestly, I have really mixed thoughts about this game, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I love the campaign. The campaign was great. It was amazing. It was fun. I would definitely love to play this campaign again in the future, or anything similar to this campaign. It was amazing. I liked the storytelling in the campaign. It was really nice. It was really well set for a Call of Duty campaign. Of course, for me, it took me like 4 hours on the hardest difficulty, honestly. I mean, honestly, if you're playing on one of the easiest difficulties, you can probably complete it within like 2 hours. In all honesty, it's probably one of the shortest campaigns in length in Call of Duty history, but because of how easy it is. But if you play it on the realism difficulty or the veteran difficulty, you have a lot more fun playing it that way. It's a lot more funner. It's better even, I would say. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, this is not the same Infinity Ward developers. I mean, let's take apart their latest patch, was like 1.07 or 1.8. I think it was 1.08 actually. And so they were supposed to debuff the footsteps, because in this game you can hear a guy running from a mile fucking away. And I mean, I hate that feature, because I can hear somebody like not even like a house away from me. And I'm like, where the fuck are these footsteps coming from? And I'm getting confused of where the fuck they're coming from, because they're actually in the house next to me. I'm like, why can't I hear my neighbors like across the street? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense how ridiculously loud the footsteps in these games are, and they really never quiet down. I mean, you can be shooting, have missiles going off, and kill streaks going, and you can still hear the fucking footsteps. It's like the footsteps are censored with all of the audio in the game, to where if there's more audio happening, the footsteps never quiet down. They just bump it up with those other things happening in the game. It's completely out of balance, completely, utterly fucked, honestly. I mean, you can be shooting and you can still hear your own fucking footsteps. I mean, it's that freaking loud. I mean, I hate that. That should not be how it works realistically in the terms of Call of Duty and or any other game that comes to mind, unless the premise of the game is supposed to be about footsteps. And like, for example, like let's take a couple like horror games, for example, and like where you can hear footsteps because it's like a long corridor hallway. That makes sense, adds tension to the game. But we're not playing a fucking horror game. We're playing Call of Duty. My footsteps should not be able to hear across the freaking map. It is ridiculous in this game. I hate that. And they didn't do nothing. I mean, the only thing that they maybe buffed was, like, or debuffed, was that if you're crouched and you're walking, like, at the pace of a freaking snail, you can't hear crap. But if you're still crouching and walking, like, if you're normally, like, crouching, you can still hear them somewhat. You pretty much have to be crouching and moving like a freaking snail across the map for you not to hear footsteps at all, which is stupid. I hate that. Another thing is that they nerfed the M4, which is my favorite gun. As you can see here, this was like one of the first gameplays I ever played of this game online that I recorded, and I like using the M4 because it was given to me as one of the whatever like variants I got for pre-ordering the game or whatever, buying one of the most expensive editions or crap like that. And I mean, I've used the M4A1 in every single, Modern Warfare from the originals, because that was my favorite gun, because in the originals, it wasn't overpowered, it wasn't even that great of a weapon, honestly, it was just balanced, and for me, it fit my playstyle, having range, but also being able to run and gun with this gun. And now the M4 in this game is ridiculously overpowered, and I'm going to agree with everybody who says the M4 it is, because it is ridiculously overpowered. You can shred people if you shoot them in the head. Like, if you get headshots in, like, you can pretty much one-shot enemies with the M4A1 to the head. It is ridiculous how much this gun is overpowered. And even then, as you guys can see here in the gameplay footage, that I'm melting people. I'm not even trying to. Like, honestly, I'm just trying to have some fun, kick back, and I think, you know, the M4 is going to be like the M4 in every other game. You know, pretty balanced, you know, where it's not overpowered, it's not too great, but it's just good, and in the right hands, it's overpowered. But in this game, the M4A1 is overpowered in any hands because you can just straight melt people. And if you add more attachments, like if, for example, if I was able to give myself attachments right here, you know, with this weapon, because I didn't have it unlocked yet, because you have to unlock it at your rank 12 or something. Like, I could be shredding people with the M4 because I use it all the time when I'm playing with my friends in private matches, because I love the M4A1, and also it's the most used assault weapon in the militaries across the world because of how much stuff you can attach to it and stuff like that. It's the most well-rounded balanced rifle, assault rifle, or carbine rifle that is good. It's good, you know, but I don't know. It just seems like it's way too overpowered. And it definitely needs to be like debuffed. It needs to be nerfed. Like, you need to nerf the headshot damage. You need to nerf like the damage multiplier on that gun. You need to nerf the, I don't know, I would say maybe the fire rate, because even with suppressors on it and stuff like that, it seems to have an increased fire rate for some other reason. I don't know. It just definitely needs some buffing up. And, you know, one gun everybody's been talking about is the 727, you know, yeah, I know, the 727, it's a joke, it's completely overpowered. I mean, the update was a complete joke. If you guys didn't read the patch update notes for the recent patch, basically so what they did for the 727 was that they decreased, you know, how much damage the pellets do at range. What they did inadvertently is that they tightened the spread when you aim. So, like, for some reason with the shotguns in this game, when you seem to aim, like, it seems magically your pellets get tighter for some other reason, which is not real life physics at all. So pretty much even with no attachments, you can pretty much, the 727 turns into a freaking slug when you aim down sights. And you can, you know, sure, maybe the pellets do less damage at range, but they also increase the range. But if you're aiming down sights with a tighter spread, more of your pellets are going to hit the target in the freaking first place. So you pretty much did nothing to the 727. You pretty much only nerfed maybe its hip fire damage rate, you know, like for close range quarters now. But even then, if you're still aiming down sights, you can shoot people 3/4 away through the map and still one-tap them. It's how ridiculous it is. And there's some attachments in this game that increase its damage range, and plus increase the bullet velocity, and increase, you know, every other thing in the game. You know, so it seems kind of pointless, you know, to decrease the damage rate, like the damage, like how much damage your pellets do at range, but when you tighten the spread, you just pretty much did the exact opposite. And also they made it to where your pellets can go a little bit farther now. So in all reality, they really did nothing to the gun. They just say they do when they did jack diddly squat to it. It's still the same. It's still, you know, overpowered as hell. Honestly, I think you could kill, hold on, you can kill probably like an average of more people now with its decreased pellet range, because they just tightened the spread of it aiming down the sights. And that's what anybody does with a 727 anyway, is aim down sights, unless they get surprised around the corridor, which makes sense to hip fire and not aim down their sights. So, in all honesty, they kind of did a pretty dumb thing there. That they actually more or less buffed it for the people who like using it, that to the point where I'm just like, well, I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing anymore. I feel like Infinity Ward right now is just inept at what they're doing, like really retarded right now. Like, I don't think they know what they're doing at all. It just seems like they're just doing whatever they feel like is good for them, and it really makes no sense. This game is just, it's a mixed bag for me. I'm pretty sure within like 5-6 months, when this game is like dead, it's gonna be probably pretty good then, you know. But I don't know. It just seems like to me like this is not the same Infinity Ward developers, even from freaking, I don't know, Infinite Warfare, you know, even had a lot of better development teams. I mean, the only reason why that game wasn't that well liked because it was another futuristic game. But if you take a look at the gameplay, take a look at the gunplay, it was actually a lot better than this game is right now, because it seemed more, you know, reliable for some guns. You know, like the guns that were not really that great, they had a lot more pros. Like they had more accuracy, or they had more faster fire rates, or they had, you know, more recoil control, and if you added attachments to them, they turned out pretty good, you know. But in this game, if you're not using the 727 or the M4, you're just gonna get completely butt raped. Like, in all honesty, you're just gonna get completely, you know, butt fucked, as they say. Like, they're gonna bend you over and proceed to fuck you in the ass with their 727s or M4A1s. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't feel like using the M4A1, even though it's my favorite gun in Call of Duty history and my favorite gun in real life. I don't know. I feel like an asshole for using it, because honestly, in every other Modern Warfare, it was the most well-balanced rifle, you know, in the assault rifle category. You know, where it wasn't too overpowered, it wasn't too great either, but, you know, with my hands, it turned out to be really good, because I knew how to use the M4. I was always rocking attachments that I just liked, like suppressors and, you know, reflexes. You know, I never was really into the whole, like, other attachments there was, but I don't know, it doesn't, I don't know, I just hate how overpowered it is. It honestly disgusts me, because it's one of my favorite guns in the Call of Duty franchise, because it's always been, you know, my personal opinion, the most well-balanced rifle. But again, it's always been the first rifle everybody unlocked, so it kind of didn't make sense. In this game, though, it's like the third one you unlock, so I don't know. It's just one of those guns that needs to be nerfed. Like, for example, let's take a look at the FAMAS. Sure, it's one of the standard guns you get, but it's not overpowered. It really is not.
Did you see that?
You
though?
know,
I was literally aiming
it's
on
just
him,
balanced, because it's a burst weapon, so it's like 2-3 bursts to kill somebody, which makes sense. In all reality, in this game, the M4A1, you can shred people with like one tap to the head. So I don't know what Infinity Ward's doing. It's not the same developer team. It's not the same. It feels completely different. This doesn't even feel like an Infinity Ward game, honestly. It just has the looks of an Infinity Ward game, but it plays like a Treyarch game or a Sledgehammer game. It's not Infinity Ward. They need to do some buffing to this game, some debuffing as well. Change some things, you know. They need to make kill streaks a little bit more overpowered, like some of them, like the Wilson maybe, and some other ones. But I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. I don't know. Mixed bags on this one, guys. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, please tap that like button down below. Maybe hit that subscribe button. You know, support your fellow YouTuber out here. You know, I'm trying to make it to where, you know, that you guys can get an honest perspective from somebody who's just playing this game for fun. Like, if you go look up 8 Dots video, he puts up a lot more evidence and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to say how the game is for me, because I still play this game. I still like this game because it looks fun. It plays pretty good. It's just, there's just some things in this game that definitely need to be fixed and worked out, is what I'm saying. It definitely needs a lot of them. It kind of reminds me of World War II, you know, in the sense that it wasn't a great game when it came out, but after some serious updating and kicking out a couple developers, it turned to be a really great game now. This is what this game needs bad. Like, I don't know why they're charging us to play a freaking alpha of the game. Like, this honestly feels like a high quality beta, is what I'm saying. Like, if you played the beta and you played this game, this seems like there's no changes, there's nothing added, there's nothing de-added, just besides you have the same things. It feels exactly like the beta, you know, like some guns were way too overpowered in the beta. You know, like in the beta they nerfed the FAMAS. Instead of being a 1 burst to the chest, it's now a 2 burst, but, you know, that's just something you can fix easily. I mean, in this game, there's nothing. Like, it just feels like we're playing an alpha. That's all it feels like we're playing a beta. It feels like they paid us, they charged us to play a beta. Whatever, guys. You know, whatever. I don't know.
don't like the spawn.
Infinity Ward, you need to update this game like bad.
More like,
Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, like I said, subscribe. Hit the top links in the description to get yourselves some free cash,
It needs to have more
for some COD points or whatever you guys want. I don't know what you guys use your money for. Anyway, see you guys on the next video. Peace out.